Shabbat Shalom, my friends. I dedicate this week's teaching to my dear friend, colleague, partner, and teacher, Rabbi Peter Noble. Peter, you are in our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers, and our minds. Okay, the calendar rolls on. Welcome to Shabbat Nachamu, the Sabbath immediately following Tisha B'Av. The Tisha B'Av weekend was powerfully busy for many people all across our country, as rallies were held to protest the vile racism and the growing tide of white nationalism and the hatred of women that all seem to have played a significant role in kindling the murders in El Paso, in Dayton, so many other places. For many of us, those rallies also directly linked the exile of the Jewish people following the destruction of the first and second temples with the plight of so many innocents from Central and South America who are coming to this country legally and illegally out of fear and desperation. Many of us profoundly believe that the state of our nation in August 2019 is in serious jeopardy. I fear those people may be right. Please hold on to that thought for a minute. Now let's look at why this Shabbat is called Shabbat Nachamu. Last Shabbat, our Haftarah from Isaiah chapter 1 contained a vision filled with dire warnings for our people. Our actions, the choices we were making, will most assuredly bring well-deserved punishment upon us. That vision was validated last Saturday evening as we read the book of Lamentations, Echa, and we wept over the destruction of Solomon's temple, followed by our people's exile into Babylonia. This Shabbat, we take our Haftarah from Isaiah chapter 40, a text that begins, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Now, Lenachem means to comfort. We know the Hebrew name Menachem, the comforter. So we have many people who believe that we read Isaiah chapter 40 here because the prophet Isaiah is telling us, okay, you've had a horrible time. You lost so much of what was precious to you, but be comforted, Nachamu. Be comforted, O my people. You've been punished enough. There is a smooth path now stretching us before us, leading to a glorious future. Healing is coming to Jerusalem. The Creator God who stretched out the heavens will take us back into the divine bosom. So, Nachamu, be comforted. That message is actually what I heard expressed during the Tisha B'Av service I attended, but that's not what Isaiah was actually saying. Far from it. Nachamu is a command, not a consoling process. The correct translation isn't Nachamu, be comforted, but rather Nachamu, go out and comfort my people. Isaiah is saying that in the midst of our pain and loss and devastation and sorrow, we have to actively involve ourselves in bringing new foundations of hope to a weeping people. When the health, perhaps even the meaningful survival of our people is at stake, comforting pieties are of little help. Get out there and do something. A deeply respected friend and colleague last week told me, Stan, you ought to ease up on your apocalyptic vision of what you think is happening all around you. Yeah, he said, things are bad. Yeah, things may even appear to be getting worse. But look, there are cycles in history. Every generation has had those who predicted the end is nigh, the end is nigh. And yet, Stan, we're still here. Elections come and go in cycles. Even famine and climate disasters come in cycles. And at the end of the day, Stan, we're actually better off today than we were 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. Okay. It's true that elections come in cycles. It's true that certain forms of climate change come in cycles. It's true that over time many dictatorial, racist, murderous regimes are swept away into the dust bins of history. But it is also true that none of those features from out of the past offer us guarantees that such cycles are built into our planet's destiny. What if today is different? What if we have done so much damage to Earth's ecosystem that things are becoming irreversible? What if political forces are being released today, unleashed today on a worldwide scale that they're simply different in strength and intensity from that which we have experienced in the past? What if global human society today is so intertwined by so many factors that manifestations of racial hatred and disregard for the other and political corruption and ineptitude in one corner of the globe can impact all of us wherever we live, leaving no zones healthy enough to generate new wonders, new achievements, new ways to promote healing and reconciliation? What if, to no one's surprise, the path forward is precisely to be found in this week's Sedra? Special request. Try to find the time to read Deuteronomy 3:21 to 7:11. The Sedra is called Ve'et Hanan. Deuteronomy 3:21 to 7:11. The text is absolutely amazing. You'll recognize so much there. Its richness cannot easily be summarized. Here I'm going to give it a brief try. Number one, learn from the past. See how your deeds can change the course of history. 2, nothing can defeat the will of a people that has embraced a true moral vision. 3, recognize in ways that we will never fully be able to comprehend, we are not here by accident. Underneath all of the chaos, there is design. Now, we cannot know if that design is intentional, but there is design. Study nature. Study the noblest of human insight. Study the richness of our past, and from your study derive laws and commandments that will guide us successfully into the future. Next, love the one God and the kind of a world that our belief in God demands of us. Ki am kadosh ata la'Adonai Elohecha. You are a people sacred before the eternal your God. Believe in all of that, even if you don't understand. Believe, act upon that kind of a belief. Next, in our Sedra, there are consequences to every choice that we make. There are consequences to inaction, and there are consequences to action. What we choose to do matters. What we choose not to do matters. For me, this Sedra completes the admonition found at the very beginning of our Haftarah, Nachamu. Go out, that Hanan is saying, our Sedra is saying, go out. Actively comfort a bereaved, frightened people, but don't comfort them with banalities. Tell them that the worst can be over, but only if they choose to make it over. Tell them that passivity in the face of societal illness is the very same thing as complicity in spreading that illness. Tell them that we believe the way that Martin Luther King Jr. believed, that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Shabbat Nachamu. It's a call to action, a rejection of passivity in a troubled time. It was true back then, my friends. And I think that it's equally true today. So have a wonderful Shabbat. Oh yes, please hit share. Relax over Shabbat, and then please, it's time to get to work. We have a world to save. And Peter, we are praying for you with love.